Hi there and welcome to my channel. By now it is almost 3 years since I promised you this video. And since then there have only been a few videos from my hand and then of course my all famous julekalender. I'm a chronicle time optimist, but I must admit I had not expected this to take so long. But I'm pleased to announce that I'm back and ready to go again. This video will first be an update that is most likely irrelevant to those of you who have not been following me for a while. So if that's you, please feel free to skip ahead to the timestamp somewhere around here. That will take you to the second part of this video, which will be a tour of my revamped studio, because that's one of the reasons why this took so long. As some of you know, I had come to the realization that my collection had become a stress point for me, since I had more projects than I would ever be able to tend to in several lifetimes. And I decided to get rid of most of it and focus on the Danish systems where I could do a real difference. On top of that, my frustration over YouTube and their algorithm had led me to a point where I had to do something. And finally, I had a really complicated situation with my now former girlfriend, who caused me to lose my job, my apartment, and forced me to take on a significant amount of debt. In other words, Destiny had pushed reset on my life, and it was now up to me to boot into a functioning operating system for my existence in this world. On a personal level, I decided to go back to being full-time self-employed. So I decided to terminate the lease on my expensive penthouse in Copenhagen and rent the smallest and cheapest thing I could find while building up my company. I'm not nearly done, but I have made significant progress while also doing a lot of work, which have caused me to down prioritize the work on my YouTube channel. Combining that with the new principle that with my new principle about only doing this when I feel like it and prioritizing my own mental health, we are looking at almost 3 years with very little output from my hand. So what are my plans going ahead? Well, first of all, I am not quitting YouTube. The interaction with my followers and the input I get from you guys are simply too valuable, and I have missed it so much. But as I stated 3 years ago, I will be pivoting into a much more deep content, such as restoring and preserving unique and historical systems, building replicas of said systems in order to preserve the functionality, teaching myself to build replicas of older systems, building tools that I need to perform my work in the easiest and most efficient way, write books and make documentaries about histories I uncover, hopefully do a bit of fundraising to make ends meet. Sure, most of this is something I've been doing a bit of here and there before, and I will not promise you that I will not be making funny videos here and there if I feel like it or if an opportunity arises. As you might realize based on the list I mentioned, I'm focusing a lot more on creating new things. This is partly rooted in the fact that my new company will be building several different open source and open hardware products. That will probably shine through a bit on this channel as well, but I have launched a secondary channel for the purpose of this that is called Making Stuff with Mike. Right now the channel is more or less empty, but during this fall I will slowly start to add some content and find a format I like. So if you like things like 3D printers, CNC routers, laser cutters, open source, reverse engineering, right to repair, and so on, you should probably check that out. The link is in the description. And now back to this channel. We have a studio tour to get to, during which I hope to demonstrate to you that I have not been on the lazy side, but I actually been working my butt off for the past 3 years. As an example of that, check out this awesome new intro I made. Yeah! Let's start here with the most significant thing. Well, maybe not significant, but it took a lot of work. So I changed all the machines. This is all Danish. Unfortunately, only this one over here is working. But I made some beautiful light behind and I cleaned it all up. So these two shelves are only Danish computers, and a lot of them I need to fix, most of them. And the top is a little bit more random stuff, like things that fits into the channel, like Lego or things I built, but not really fits into the overall concept of what I'm gonna do for the foreseeable future. Talking about working computers, I have a few of them over here. So I turned my old storage room into a more of a display room. And I put up this entire table and I built it all by myself. And given my history with health and stuff like that, crawling around on that floor, assembling a table and building the lighting behind it, it took a lot of time and effort and a lot of pain. But I did it all by myself. Well, almost. I had a few helping hands, but mostly I did it by myself. We have this working beauty. That's an Amstrad. This is a running butler. This is a James computer, the James PC800. It's working, kinda. The floppy drives are broken, so I cannot boot it, but besides from that, this is the first iteration of the James, and that's fully working. And this is a Compis Swedish school computer, which are also sold in Denmark. I couldn't get my hands on the Danish version, so I got a Swedish one. This is the PC that I built to mimic my mom's computer from 1995. I just wanted something that I could test out those things from back then on. And then lastly, here we have the Rosetta system, which is the machine I used to recover and preserve old floppies. The whole Rosetta system is a long process I've been working on this channel. There are a few videos in this series already, and I think the next one will also be about the Rosetta system, because I really don't like this. I become smarter after using this, and I found out that that's not the good solution, and I have a new better solution that I'm gonna share with you in the next video. I hope it's the next video. Over here next to the podium, we have some more rainbow lights, and that's combined with the rainbow lights behind my drawers up here, which I use for components. And then I added a nice tabletop to my drawers down here, so that I can use it to have projects like this long-running restoration project, where I am preserving microtapes. I also added a few over here. I think those 6 are new. And then a lot of small changes, like the lighting has also been done. And I mounted a lot of monitors on the wall, because I am working on a project that will show up on the other channel that has something to do with a lot of monitors. I also spend an insane amount of time putting up shelves for all my knickknacks. And this is the primary wall, but also up here on the concrete beam, there's also a whole 2 rows of boxes. And I also put a little server thingy in the corner, because we like to put servers in the corner. So that's a Ubiquiti switch that runs the master switch of the network, and that's a small UPS and 2 HP microservers up there. And oh yeah, we have some more boxes. This is the other side of the concrete beam, and that's also filled up with boxes. And another new upgrade I did is that I actually made an office, because the book writing and the company stuff, I really needed an office. So you wanna see that? Let's go! And welcome to my office. I know it's small, but it's mine and I like it, and I made it myself. There's really not much to talk about here. This is a dedicated workstation for doing accounting, and also I have room here to set up a laptop if I do some kind of preservation where I use my book scanner or something like that. There will be a video about that soon, I think. Over here is the primary workstation where I do software development and general research for books and videos and stuff like that. And all of this is, there's a bit of accounting stuff and a bit of personal stuff, but the most of it is historical stuff, like lots of binders with floppy disks in, and that entire row you see there, that is all the materials for my book. And all these are different books. About half of the books I have that's related to my book as well, to my book writing. And I got a couch. So once I have been working all day and I need to relax a little bit, I have a couch to lie on. So I don't think the office is really interesting to you, but it's an important part of why I have been offline for so long a time. And also it's a good segue to my to the end of the studio tour. That will be my new workshop. And hereby, welcome to the last room of my studio tour, the workshop. The amount of hours I spent in here the past 3 years are incredible. Will you just look at this? I have more boxes from ceiling to floor. Boxes and boxes and boxes. And this entire wall, I actually built that myself. There's a window behind that wall, so I put up some Alutros and built some really sturdy shelves. I mean, I can dance on these shelves without a problem. And then I started adding some technology. I have a set of monitors like in every other room, and I had to install some network and some power here as well. Up there in the corner, I'm not entirely done with it, but that's a little bit of zoom. That's the other end of that fiber cable I talked about, and a little server and some more network, and an old UPS in the corner. Some different servers and old computers for different projects. And over here, something that's gonna be used quite a lot in my new channel are my new 3D printers. Please don't diss me about the brand. I didn't know when I bought it. And if I knew, I would never have bought that crap. But the printer is actually pretty decent as long as you don't want your freedom. So yeah, that's what I have. Another system I have here, which is something I spent quite a lot of time building. Because the machine down here, I bought that, but the entire casing is actually something I built myself. That's a laser cutter. Let's come back to that in a second, because I want to get this one and... Ah, crap. There's a camera in the way. And now we can watch the process without glasses on. So there's a lot of small knickknacks in here that that's gonna take time to get through. The surveillance camera just fell down. So I have a table saw that's really easy to take out and mount. I have a CNC router which I still need a place to mount. I have installed a compressor with rolled up wire, so I have compressed air anywhere I want it. I have this which does the same for power. This is 15 meters of extension cord that is really easy to roll out and roll back in again. I even have a crane down there that is going to go up in that hole, and Yeah, what else do we have? I feel like I'm drowning in projects. I just can't get them out of my head right now. I mounted all my power tools on this wall. Oh, well, most of it. I have a cylindrical drill right there, and I have I don't know what that's called, a wooden kapgering saw. I don't know what that's called in English. In Danish, we call it a kapgeringssav. And in that corner, I have a metal saw as well. So I'm slowly collecting tools and skills to start building some awesome stuff. And I'm gonna do that over at the other channel, and I'm not gonna name drop that anymore for now, because it's pretty boring, it's empty. But I plan to do some collaboration where I will post part of the video here and part of the video over there. Like, say I'm restoring a vintage computer, but I need to build something in order to do it. In that case, I would put the build part over on the other channel, and I would put the vintage computing thing on this channel. So yeah, I'm looking so much forward to start making videos again, and I hope you are ready to follow along. And I already planned the next one, and I hope it will be out in a few weeks. But right now I need a few days of relaxation, and I think the weather gods heard what I said, because I'm going camping now, and that is the weather that's presented to me. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's raining a lot. Oh, I need a hat. I don't have a hat. I'm gonna use, in Danish we call this a fejebakke. I'm gonna use that for my outro. Let's see what are we gonna do. See you out there in the dark corners of the interwebs. Yeah!